What's up guys? My name's James, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about why Airbnb is such an untapped opportunity for real estate investors. So in this video, we're going to break down the main reasons why Airbnb is still such an opportunity for real estate investors. It's ripe for disruption, begging for people to jump in, but why it's so untapped and why so few people are really leveraging short-term rentals as a real estate investing strategy. Now, again, if you want to learn how to invest in short-term rental properties, if you want to leverage and take advantage of this massive opportunity, then click the link down in the description below and schedule a quick 15-minute call for you to jump on the phone with me personally, and I'm be happy to walk you through and see how we might be able to help you to jump on board and actually get started investing in properties for short-term rental. I am going to be working with a really small, tight-knit group of students over the next 6 to 12 months here, helping them to invest into short-term rentals and get in on this incredible opportunity. So if you want to be one of those few people that gets in on it, then just click the link down below, schedule a quick 15-minute chat with me, and I'd love to see more about how we might be able to help you to accomplish your goals. So without further ado, let's jump into it and let's talk about the number one reason why I think that short-term rentals are a really untapped opportunity that so few people are really taking advantage of. And that comes down to analysis. Property analysis and figuring out the right property to invest in that's going to yield a really strong ROI is challenging, frankly. It's hard to do even with long-term rentals. You need to have some expertise and some knowledge and the right tools to run your analysis effectively. Without being able to run effective analysis, you're going to inevitably make mistakes in your investing, and that's going to cost you big time. Think about it. If you start investing in real estate and the difference is, with your first property, let's say that it cash flows, it gives you return, everything goes well, and you make another $30,000 on that property per year. Well, in 2 years, you're going to be able to buy another property. Maybe even in 1 year, you'd be able to buy another property and you can keep on growing. And then you start to get this exponential growth curve because now you've got one more property. Now you're making $60,000 a year from that property. And then you can easily be buying multiple properties every single year. Whereas on the other side of it, if you buy a property and it doesn't cash flow, what if it goes poorly? You make a mistake, you buy the wrong property on that first one, it means that it's going to drastically drag out your time to getting that second property. And until you get that second property, you're never going to start to see that gradual curve and eventually that hockey stick. So if it takes you an extra 5 years to get that next one, that's cutting millions off of your future earnings if you were to scale your portfolio effectively and not have made that mistake. So analysis is a really big part of any real estate investing strategy, and it's especially important with short-term rentals, but especially challenging to do. Very, very few people have the right tools, the right systems, and the right know-how to be able to figure out how to analyze properties effectively for short-term rental. And that's luckily what I've been doing for about 5-6 years now, pretty much every day, is analyzing properties, looking at the market. There's different resources you can use to get data, and a lot of people know about those resources, like for example, AirDNA, where you can go and grab the data and see how other properties are performing. But it's another thing entirely to actually be able to use that data and have the right tools built to be able to analyze properties based on that data. Give yourself some worst case scenario projections, some realistic projections, and some best case scenario projections, because all those things are important. It's just as important to minimize the downside risk as it is to maximize your upside potential. I would even argue that it's more important to protect your downside, especially when you're just getting started. So for that reason, number one, just analysis of properties being so challenging to do without the right tools and the right systems and the right know-how, that tends to be a big barrier for entry. Now, it's not to discourage you, it's not to scare you off, because with the right tools and the right systems and the right know-how, it's not incredibly challenging to do this. It's not incredibly challenging or some, advanced mathematics you need to understand in order to run proper analysis, but you just need to have those right tools, systems, and know-how. And then from there, you've now crossed that barrier to entry. So because there is a larger barrier to entry, and because it is more challenging and it's a lot less familiar to a lot of people, that actually is an advantage to those of us who are in the game, because it means there's a lot fewer people competing for properties, so we can get these properties at an absolute steal. Now, mark my words, 5 years, 10 years down the road, these short-term rental properties are not going to be nearly as lucrative because you're not going to be able to buy them for the crazy low prices that you can right now and have them perform as crazy well as they do right now. And the market's going to eventually catch up. But for the next few years, we're going to be in this, kind of euphoria type of land where you can buy properties that cash flow 20% of their value in a given year. Now that's just absolutely insane. And that's number one reason why a lot of people are not tapping into this opportunity is the property analysis. Now, again, if you want to learn my exact process for analyzing properties, have me walk you through like exactly what we do to find properties, how we run analysis numbers, what we look for when we're analyzing properties, and how we make sure that any deal is a good deal, then just go ahead and click the link below, schedule a quick 15-minute chat with me, and I'd love to talk to you more about how it is that we do that and how we can help you to do the same. Now, the second reason, and I think there's a few, but I think the second major reason why a lot of people are not getting into short-term rentals and why it, again, is still such an untapped opportunity for so many people is that a lot of people don't know how and don't feel confident in their ability to make properties perform well consistently. A lot of people think that short-term rentals are risky. They think it's unpredictable. And the reality is that, again, if you have the right skills, if you have the right tools, and if you have the right know-how, then you can actually make short-term rentals very, very predictable. In fact, I can tell you down to pretty much the dollar how my properties are going to perform at a baseline. I can tell you that they're not going to perform any less than X number, and I can predict relatively consistently and effectively where they're actually going to end up at the end of a given week, month, or even year. But again, it's just about having the skills, the tools, and the know-how to be able to do that. Now, are short-term rentals more volatile? Is there more up and down? Absolutely. When you compare that to a long-term rental where you're getting the exact same dollar amount every single month, except for when you get zero because the property sits vacant, then you're going to be a lot more up and down. However, that up and down, that cycle is highly predictable. It's highly, highly predictable. And we can even look at worst case scenarios and we can look at, okay, what is the worst case scenario if it does absolutely terribly? And we can give ourselves a nice cushion there. So there's a number of different ways that you can predict how well it's going to do. There's a number of different ways you can control how well that property does. But I think a lot of investors are scared off thinking that it's just risky and it's unpredictable. And that's simply because they don't have the right skills, tools, and knowledge in order to do that. So again, that presents a really big opportunity for us because since it acts as a barrier to entry for so many people, it again just thins the herd. It means there's less competition. But again, 5-10 years from now, when there's a lot more experience, it's a lot more mainstream, we're not going to have that same barrier to entry. People en masse are going to start to feel more confident in short-term rentals. They're going to start to understand the strategies to make short-term rentals perform. And that's going to have these deals get consistently worse and worse to buy in the long term. But on the flip side of that, it also means that they're going to be even more lucrative to sell 5-10 years down the road. Imagine having an operational short-term rental 5-10 years from now when those are incredibly more valuable because more investors are able to get into them. More investors have the skills, the knowledge, and let alone the financing that's now becoming available for short-term rentals. We're seeing that just now, we're just starting to see financing options available, especially in the US, where lenders will actually lend money without even looking at your income, right? On a short-term rental property, they'll use these tools to run analysis. The financial industry is starting to catch up, but imagine what that's going to look like 5-10 years from now when the big banks and the major banks are actually going to be lending based on that. That's going to send these properties values through the roof. So right now is really this kind of pre-gold rush era opportunity for investing in short-term rental properties. Now is really the time to get started. So if you do want to get started, you want to start actually investing in these properties sooner rather than later, and you want to get some short-term rentals under your belt so you can start earning cash flow, you can start reaping the rewards of this and getting into this untapped market right now for real estate investors, then just go ahead and click the link down below, schedule a quick call with me. I'm doing this myself. This is what I'm doing. I'm going and buying these properties for short-term rental now, and I'm only managing my own property. That's how big we're growing this, but I highly recommend that you schedule a call now, because it's not going to be around forever. And this isn't some fake scarcity. I genuinely am only working with about 10 people in a private mentorship group to show them how to invest in short-term rental properties over a 6-month period. I'm going to be walking through and investing right alongside with them. So if you want to be a part of that, then just click the link down below, schedule a quick 15-minute call with me, and we can talk more and see if it would be a good fit. So I hope this video has been valuable to you. I hope you gotten some great insights from it. And I hope that it gave you some more of an inside look, kind of behind the scenes look on why short-term rentals are such an untapped opportunity right now. Again, if you want to stay up to date with more videos like this, we do post 2 videos every week on this channel to keep you up to date. Just click that subscribe button. Make sure that you press the subscribe button. Stay subscribed to the channel here so you can stay up to date with all the new videos we release. And also, if you did like this video, if you got value from it, then show me. Let me know. Press that like button. It helps me out massively with the YouTube algorithm. So I'm going to give you a second here. I know a lot of people tell you this, but try to actually think about this and actually do it. Just take that half a second and actually click that like button. Go ahead. Just click it. Just take a second there. Click that like button. It helps me out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.